Thank you for joining us today at our memorial service for K-9 Valor. We really appreciate that you took time out to join us today. I'm going to give you a brief agenda, and then I'm going to turn it over to Sheriff Valentine Heiss. The Sheriff will speak for just a few minutes, then we're going to turn it over to Deputy Jeff Andrews, who's going to say a few words about K-9 Valor. Then we have a slideshow for you. After that, I'd like to open up the floor if any of you would like to say a few words about Deputy Andrews or K-9 Valor or the team as a whole, and then we'll close out the day. Sheriff Heiss?
Again, as PIO Maloney said, thank you all for attending, particularly the K-9 handlers. I know Deputy Andrews appreciates your support here. Talking from perspective of a sheriff, because I know Deputy Andrews is going to talk a little bit more specifically about Valor and his relationship with his K-9 partner. From a sheriff's perspective, looking at it from the big picture, it's easy to call the people that work here employees, but they become more than employees. They become your friends. You spend a tremendous amount of time with them. You learn their idiosyncrasies. I don't always agree with them, but they become family, for lack of a better term. And the same is true for K-9s. They are technically, from a strict sheriff's perspective, they're a tool that we use in our business, but just like our human counterparts in the sheriff's office, they become much more than tools. Anything that's living and breathing, you develop a relationship with. And the K-9 handlers, particularly for our media partners, it's probably difficult to understand, but from my perspective, watching the interaction, it's like the best pet you've ever had combined with the best partner that you've ever had. They're always eager to go to work. They're never complaining. They love to see you. I know I've talked to many K-9 handlers, and they talk about the fact that when the uniform goes on, the dog is ready to go. And when they retire, those dogs often are pretty depressed that they can't go to work with their handler. So that relationship is probably something most of us can't understand. So that's why we have these memorials, because Deputy Andrews, the memorial isn't per se for Valor, it's more for the people that are left behind that have to deal with the loss, and not the least of which is Deputy Andrews having to deal with a loss of his partner, somebody he depended on, not just to help him in his daily activities, but frankly put his life in his hands at times. So to say that we are going to miss Valor is an understatement, but we also are here to support Deputy Andrews and any of the K-9 handlers that have lost their dogs. It is a heart-wrenching event to go through, and we certainly don't ever want to minimize that. We want to give Valor and Deputy Andrews the support and praise that they deserve for a job well done. And K-9 Valor was a good dog. We have a lot of them, and there's a lot of funny stories that I'm sure that maybe we'll hear about a little bit as we go on here from people who work with Deputy Andrews. But I guess now I need to turn it over, prior to us doing the slideshows, I'm going to turn it over to Deputy Andrews. I think he has a few things he wants to say about Valor. So, Deputy Andrews.
Just wanted to start off by thanking everybody for coming out. It means a lot to me. If you guys know me, you know I don't really make a big deal out of a lot of things. Just pretty much wanted to go over some stats, talk about Valor a little bit, some of our good times and bad times. Back in 2013, I was selected to fill a vacancy in our unit. We went over to New Smyrna Beach. We started selecting potential dogs. We went over there. I remember the whole ride. Steve and I were talking about trying to pick a name, and we just went round. But we ended up picking this dog. His name was Toki, which was not going to happen. So we went the whole ride home. He's like, "You need to pick a name. You need to pick a name." So We went through a couple different things, really didn't have a good name. Later on, I found out that Mr. Gobies donated some money. He was good friends with one of our ex-employees. Her name was Janet Anderson. And she actually passed away after battling cancer. So that's when the name Valor came to me. If you look up the definition of valor, it says great courage in the face of danger. So I thought this name was very fitting to respect Janet, and also very relevant to police work. I haven't cried in like over a month, but I guess now it's gonna be a good time. So we went out to patrol school in Pinellas County. I'm 100% sure the dog hated me. It took forever for him to trust me, wouldn't come back to me. You guys that were in my school know we went around. And he'd just take off with a tug. He wanted nothing to do with me. So he was a really independent dog. He didn't need me. I was just the guy holding the dumb end of the lead. So one day in school, kind of like the sheriff just said, one day in school, I remember us talking about not becoming too attached to the dogs. And, they're a tool, and we have to put them in harm's way a lot of times. So you don't want to become too attached to these dogs. So I thought to myself, there's no way I'm going to be that attached to this dog. He doesn't like me, and, I'll do what I can. So, of course, the years went on. Valor became family, our bond became stronger, and we had a lot of success. So I have some of the numbers. I don't have everything, but I was hoping to work him for another year or so before retiring, keep him at home, let him retire with my family. Unfortunately, our time together was cut short. I was tracking, and he just became sick. Found out he had lymphoma and had to put him down. So I believe Valor definitely lived up to his name. He worked for me up to the very end. I'm extremely grateful. As far as numbers go, from what I could get throughout our 6-year career together, had 78 total apprehensions, 11 bites, pretty much over 400 patrol deployments, over 200 narcotics deployments. Located a lot of narcotics. Some of probably the most memorable catches, I think somebody asked before. We had a case in 2017 where we had a battery suspect flee from a deputy and battered the deputy and hide inside a drainage culvert inside Timber Pines, which is a big retirement community we have. And Valor tracked him down and got him hiding in a drainage pipe. We had a really big one where we had in 2016, we had a suspect break into our post office and actually commit another robbery as well, and followed up on a bunch of leads, and he tried to run from deputies, and Valor also got him. We had a big case in 2017 also, where we had a 6 battery suspect take off in Brooksville, and I deployed Valor. We got his shirt, and we actually tracked him probably about 75 yards from him. And then I turned over to Deputy Jernigan, and he found the guy in a drainage ditch. So those are just a couple little things that I think of. I just wanted to thank everybody. The amount of support that I've received over the last month or so has been crazy. I mean, I've gotten cards from all over the country. I wanted to thank Dr. Stone over at the emergency vet in Deltona. Their whole staff worked all night trying to figure out what was going on. Dr. Brandon is our vet. He worked with Dr. Stone also, trying to figure out what was going on with Valor. That morning, they sent me over to Dr. Moore at the Animal Medical Clinic on Deltona, and he referred me over to University of Florida. And we actually went up to Gainesville, and their staff was awesome up there. Actually figured everything out, and pretty much got the bad news. So the certainly last but not least, I'd like to thank Foster's Pet Cremation over on County Line Road. They met me late at night. They took care of him for me, and didn't charge us a penny. So that's pretty much it.
The technical hour, would you do my work?
It's been a long day without you, my friend, and I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. We've come a long way from where we began. Oh, I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. When I see you again.
Damn, who knew? All the planes we flew, good things we've been through. That I'll be standing right here talking to you about another path. I know we love to hit the road and laugh, but something told me that it wouldn't last. Had to switch up, look at things different, see the bigger picture. Those were the days, hard work forever pays. Now I see you in a better place. See you in a better place. How can we not talk about feeling when family's all that we got? Everything I would do, you were standing there by my side. And now you gon' be with me for the last ride.
It's been a long day without you, my friend, and I'll tell you all about it when I see you again.
See you again.
We've come a long way
Came a long way.
from where we began.
You know we started.
Oh, I'll tell you all about it when I see you again.
Tell you.
When I see you again.
First you both go out your way and the vibe is feeling strong. To a small turn to a friendship turn to a bond, and that bond will never be broken. The love will never get lost.